presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week, as the Reverend Chalmers lay spread-eagled in the merciless rays of the tropical sun, Shanghai Lil, the Batwoman, tortured him as she tried to make him beg her forgiveness. When the Reverend fainted from exposure to the intense rays of the sun, Shanghai Lil ordered him released and thrown into a dungeon. In the meantime, Jungle Jim had planned to surrender to the Batwoman in order to effect the rescue of the Reverend Chalmers. And after ordering Kolu to guard Lynn Chalmers, Jim sets out alone. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. For Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue the story. In the plantation house, Shanghai Lil, the Batwoman, and Jacques Labat, her overseer, listen to the message of the tom-tom.
Those drums get nearer and nearer, boss.
Yes, our friend Jungle Jim is coming closer and closer into the net.
And the daughter of the missionaire, too. You forget her?
I'm not forgetting her, Labat. And once we meet, she won't forget me either.
By God, I bet she don't.
Chalmers won't regain consciousness for some time, so we won't have to worry about him just now. We can turn our full attention to this nosy explorer, Jungle Jim.
Boss, I've been loyal to you, Nespa.
Yes, Labat, so far.
Everything you tell Labat to do, he do, eh?
Yes, you've obeyed my orders pretty well. What are you getting at, Labat?
You grant Labat one little favor, boss.
Oh, I suppose you want to have charge of Jungle Jim's entertainment.
That's right, boss. What you say, eh?
You haven't forgotten that beating he gave you in O'Flynn's cafe, have you?
No, by God. That's the one and only time Jacques Labat ever get knocked out. And it will be the last.
You hope. Well, I'm going to grant your request, Labat. When this man is in our power, I'll turn him over to your gentle hand.
Gentle, by God. You like for the joke, boss. I show that Jungle Jim how gentle Jacques Labat is.
I'll bet you will. Oh, the drums have stopped. Our prisoners must be almost here. Come in.
Missy, White Twan, come this way.
What'd I tell you, Labat? Who's with him, member?
Nobody with him, Missy. White Twan all alone.
Alone? Where's the girl? Where's his boy?
No, Missy. All Mamba see, White Twan come this way.
That's funny, boss. What happened to those others?
My senses must have killed them off, and this Jim managed to escape their fire.
Only to walk right into your hands. By God. I go out and say hello to that fella.
Oh, no, you won't. You stay right here.
I thought you say turn him over to me, boss.
When he's in our power. I don't want him tipped off as to who his captors are just yet. I warned him that day in O'Flynn's cafe that if he ever crossed my path, I'd kill him. I want him to see me first, Labat. Remember?
Yes, Missy.
Take Walyo and bring back this White Twan.
Yes, Missy. Mamba do. Walyo, Ingani Kaboko, Twan Doro.
No. Listen, member. I want you to bring him back alive.
At that moment, back in the hiding place selected by Kolu, Lynn Chalmers is worried.
How long will Twan Jim be gone, Kolu?
Solo no, Missy. Twan no stay.
You say this Batwoman tortures her prisoners?
Yes, see, Missy. Batwoman cruel.
Then she's probably torturing Dad.
Missy, maybe Batwoman no torture mission, Twan.
Oh, you think because my father is a missionary, he may be spared?
Maybe, Missy.
Oh, I hope you're right. But if Jim falls into her hands, he won't be exempt. She'll torture him all right.
Twan Jim no fool. He no throw life away. He take care self like Kolu take care you, Missy.
Yes, I know you're going to take care of me. But I do wish Jim had let me go with him. This hanging around waiting is worse torture than facing the Batwoman.
Maybe. Kolu no want to be captured by Batwoman. Kolu see native boy, she punish.
What did she do to them?
Better Kolu no tell, Missy.
They were so cruelly mistreated? Is that it?
Yes, see, Missy.
Oh. Kolu, how long will we stay here?
Stay here for signal, Twan Jim. Kolu wait like he tell.
But we don't know how long that will be.
No, Missy. We no.
Listen, Kolu, we haven't heard any drums for a long time. Let's get a little closer to Tuan Jim so we can be ready for his signal.
We stay here, Missy.
I can't stay here, Kolu. I shall go mad. We must follow Tuan Jim.
Better we stay here, Missy. Tuan Jim no want us seen by that woman.
We can keep out of sight.
Better we stay here.
Kolu, do you like this bracelet?
Yes, see, Missy. Kolu like.
Would you like to have it for your own?
Yes, see, Missy.
You may have it, Kolu.
Thank you, Missy.
Wait a minute, not so fast. You may have it if you will leave here and follow Tuan Jim to the Batwoman's hideout.
Tuan Jim say we stay here. Say Kolu watch over you safe.
Yes, I know, but you can guard me just as well further along the trail.
Tuan Jim save Kolu many time, Missy. We stay here like he say.
In the meantime, Mamba and Walyo have met Jungle Jim and taken him captive.
Well, boys, now that you have me all tied up, do either of you happen to be called Mamba?
Him, Mamba. Maski, Walyo.
Oh, so you're the lad who captured the Reverend Chalmers, are you?
Mamba capture mission Tuan, yes, sir.
Where have you got him hidden?
Tuan, see.
Good. That's what I'm here for. You're both the Batwoman's boys, aren't you? She sent you after me, didn't she?
Maybe.
That's right, Mamba. Don't say anything that might incriminate you. Murderers and criminals the world over retort to the same tricks. Well, where are you boys taking me?
You see. You'll find out.
It wouldn't by any chance be this plantation house we're coming to.
Maybe.
Oh, stop trying to be so mysterious, Mamba. You didn't have anything to do with my being your prisoner. You don't think I'd be here if I didn't want to be here, do you? Let's hurry and meet your mistress.
Come with Mamba.
Well, this is some house, Mamba. I had no idea there was a place like this around anywhere.
Maski, Tuan.
Come in.
Say, where have I heard that voice before?
Here, White Tuan, Missy.
The woman I met in O'Flynn's cafe. You here?
Why not? This is my house.
Then you are the Batwoman.
That's right. It doesn't take long for you to catch on, does it? But it's too bad you forget so easily.
What do you mean?
When we met that day in a friend's cafe, I warned you not to meddle in my affairs, Jungle Jim.
I don't know who you are or what you're up to, miss. But I let you capture me for one reason.
Indeed. And that is...
So that you might release the Reverend Chalmers and take me in his place.
What makes you think you could replace him?
The Reverend Chalmers isn't alone in the world. He has a daughter.
And she's not dead, eh?
No. Her father's my best friend, and I want you to release him. You may do as you please with me, but give him back to her.
And you're willing to die for her. Well, as the parson would say, greater love hath no man than to lay down his life for his friend, or words to that effect.
I'm not trying to be noble. I'm simply doing the only thing in my power to free my best friend. The girl means nothing to me. You warned me that if I ever crossed your path again, you'd kill me. Well, here's your chance. If you'll set the Reverend Chalmers free.
Listen to who's talking. A man with his hands tied behind his back, with two natives with rifles guarding him. A man standing alone in the midst of his captors. Why, you stand there and try to bargain as though you had an army behind you and you were here under a flag of truce.
Will you set the Reverend free?
You listen to me, Mr. Jungle Jim. You saw fit to disregard my warning, so you must take the consequences. I choose to keep both of you as my prisoners. All right, Mamba, open the door and hit that gong. There's another friend of yours here whom I think you'll be surprised to meet, Jungle Jim.
Not Lynn.
You mean Lynn Chalmers?
Never mind. Who is this friend you speak of?
Here he comes now.
Labar. I might have known.
Yes, you might have. Labar is most anxious to meet you again.
Oh, so you got that Jungle Jim fella, boss.
Here he is, Labar.
My God, I'm glad for to see you, Jungle Jim.
Yeah, I bet you are.
You finished with him, boss?
For the present, yes. Labar will have a chance to avenge himself for that beating you gave him, Jungle Jim.
I'll be glad to fight him again, miss. And I'll lick him again, too.
Not this time you won't, eh, boss? This time it will be Jacques Labar who do the licking.
All right, Labar. Take him away.
Come on, you. I'm going for to fix you plenty. You coming for the what, boss?
I'm going to see how our other prisoner is, but I'll watch you get started, Labar.
Good. This time, Jungle Jim, she going for to get real with him. Walyo, fetch me my bull whip.
I should have known you wouldn't fight fair and square.
Shut up, you. Stand over there. Remember, untie his hands. We chained them to the whipping post.
Hey, whip, Wanyapa.
Good. Now, tear his shirt off. Good. Now stand back. Stand back or give me room. By God, I show you how Jacques Labarre can whip. Watch me, boss. I laid this bull whip around his back, around the post, and around his back, all with one swing.
He has a strong, muscular back, hasn't he?
Huh? Oh, so has Labarre, boss. Regard it. I take off this shirt, so. Now, watch the muscle in my back when I swing this bullwhip. So. How you like Labarre's muscle, eh, boss?
I still prefer Jungle Jim.
Hey, boss, wait, where do you go?
See our other prisoner. Bring that one along when you're through with him.
By God, I think he's gone wrong.
Renzi! Renzi!
Yes, Missy.
Come here. How's the Reverend? Has he come to yet?
Yes, Missy.
Good. I'll just go down into the cave and have a look at him. Well, Reverend,
Who's that?
it's me. I've come to get that apology. Are you going to give it to me?
I have nothing to apologize for, Lily DeVille.
Still singing the same tune, are you? I guess I'll have to let Labarre give you a lesson like he's giving your friend Jungle Jim out there.
Jim? Here?
Yes.
Where's Lynn? Where's my daughter?
When we captured your friend, he was alone.
Oh, then my daughter is really dead. Oh, hey, boss!
Yes, Labarre, what do you want?
Come along, Mama. Why, you? Boss, here we come with that big, strong fellow that called himself Jungle Jim. Ha, ha, ha! He came away like one schoolgirl. What? What have you done to him?
He's been teaching him a lesson, I told you.
Throw him down there with the padre. Look up, boss. Jim. By God, that was over too quick, boss. What I do now?
I've got something for you to do, Labarre. Reverend, take a look at your friend's back. That's a sample of what's coming to you. And now I've got to leave you. Denby, you've got two prisoners to guard. Labarre, you come with me. I want to talk to you.
Jim, what did they do to you? Oh, Jim, speak to me.
Oh, go ahead. Have your fun while you can. My turn is coming.
Jim, this is Chalmers, Jim. Manly Chalmers.
Oh, the Reverend. Oh, thank God I found you.
Jungle Jim has at last succeeded in finding the Reverend Chalmers, but at the price of his own freedom. As the prisoner of the Batwoman, how can he hope to escape single-handed and then rescue the Reverend Chalmers and finally reunite him with his daughter? These and many other famous characters of the world of pictures appear in the Comic Weekly, distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. In the Comic Weekly, you will find the Katzenjammer Kid, Barney Google, Toots and Casper, Flash Gordon, the Little King, Tilly the Toiler, and your old pal Skippy. There is also a new group of color poster stamps to add to your present collection. Don't forget our date next week at this same time for a continuation of the thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim. presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week, Lynn Chalmers, impatient at being forced to wait for word from Jungle Jim as to the fate of her father, tried to bribe her guardian, Kolu, to leave their hideout and look for Jim. But Kolu refused to disobey Jim's orders. Meanwhile, Jim allowed himself to be captured by Mamba and taken to the Batwoman. Despite his plea that she release the Reverend Chalmers and hold him instead, Shanghai Lil decided to keep both men prisoners, and Jim was turned over to Laba, who whipped Jim into unconsciousness and then threw him into the dungeon where the Reverend Chalmers was recovering from exposure to the sun. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue our story. Down in the cavern dungeon where they were being held prisoners, the Reverend Chalmers pulls Jungle Jim into as comfortable a position as possible and waits for him to regain his strength. Presently, Jim raises himself up.
Feeling better now, Jim?
Yes, thanks. I'll be all right now. But wait until I get a fair chance with that French Canuck.
Jim, I've been waiting for you to recover sufficiently to tell me the details of Lynn's death.
Lynn's death?
Yes.
Why, the last time I saw her, your daughter was safe and sound, Dr. Chalmers.
Oh, praise God. You don't want to load you lifted from my mind and heart, Jim. I was sure I'd left her fatally wounded that night I was kidnapped.
I know how you must have felt, Reverend. We felt the same way about you. And Lynn, of course, still does. I hope we can get to her soon and give her the good news of your safety.
I hope so, too. Where is she?
Kolu has her in a secluded spot not far from here. He will watch over her until he sees my signal that all is well. You see, Dr. Chalmers, I felt that to let this woman capture all of us would definitely ruin our chances not only to rescue you, but also to investigate this religious mystery.
Quite right, Jim, quite right.
I got the idea that if I were the only one seen advancing on this place, the Batwoman would think her men had killed Lynn and my boy Kolu.
Which she probably does, for she told me you were alone when they captured you.
She knows Lynn's alive, Reverend.
She does? Ah, I see it now. She wanted to torture me with the thought that I'd really and truly lost my daughter if she wasn't with you.
That sounds just like her.
But I say, Jim, how does she know Lynn is alive?
Oh, I tried to bargain with her and happened to mention Lynn.
Bargain with her? How?
Well, you see, this Batwoman is the same one I had a run-in with in Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn's cafe.
I see.
The day I beat up Laba for attacking that kid.
I remember.
So I kind of figured it. She wanted me bad enough, she'd release you to return to Lynn.
You offered yourself as a hostage for me?
You make it sound melodramatic, Reverend. I just try to make a trade.
Jim, I don't know what to say. That was a splendid offer. But even if it had been successful, I couldn't have let you go through with it.
Say, your place is with your daughter, no matter how we arrange it.
Much as I value the companionship and safety of Lynn, I couldn't let you or anyone else sacrifice himself to that end.
Well, let's forget that, shall we? It didn't work, so now we got to figure out something else.
Yes.
What have you found out since you've been here, Reverend?
Nothing much. They stripped me to the waist and spread-eagled me in the sun.
The devil.
It was torture. My body is still so sore I can't even put on my shirt. But heaven won't let such deeds go unheeded or unpunished.
And that reminds me, Reverend. I've got something of yours here.
Something of mine? What is it, Jim?
Your pocket-sized Old Testament.
Oh.
Kolu found it back on the trail, where the bush was all trampled down.
Yes, that's where I fought Mamba for the possession of the gun. But I thought I'd lost this book for good. But here it is. Oh, thank you, Jim.
Well, that's all right, sir.
I should have known that it would turn up again. You know, Jim, this book has had a hard time down through the centuries. It's been hounded, scourged, thrown into prison, crucified, and crowned with thorns. But it has a miraculous way of surviving.
Yes, sir. And if we live long enough, it will conquer the new voodoo cult that's been started up here.
Amen to that, my boy. But for the present, I guess there's nothing we can do but make the best of our predicament. What is the Batwoman up to, Jim?
I think I know, Reverend.
You do?
But I'd rather not say until I'm sure.
While Jim and the Reverend Chalmers wonder what the Batwoman is up to, let's see for ourselves.
Bob!
What you want, boss?
Come here. Amber, is your canoe ready?
Yes, sir, Missy. Waga ready.
Here I am, boss. What you want?
Have you seen any sign of the girl?
No, boss. That girl, she no show up yet.
She must be around here somewhere. Rouhani told me he saw Jungle Jim and the girl and a native boy at the outpost.
Maybe that Rouhani lie, boss.
No, he isn't lying. Jungle Jim told me himself the girl is still alive.
Then why not make him tell us where she is, boss?
Not just yet, Labar. I don't want to give him or Chalmers the satisfaction of knowing I'm interested in this.
Ah, you one smart fella, boss.
When I told Jungle Jim there was a friend here who was anxious to see him, I meant you. But he thought I meant her. His face went white as a sheet.
He loved that girl, Miss Pa.
He says she doesn't mean a thing to him.
He say, by God, when man in love with woman, he always says she don't mean nothing to him.
Is that so? Well, I'll remember that. It may come in handy.
May come handy. I bet you your life you see that it come handy.
Well, never mind about that, Labar. The point is, we've got to find Lynn Chalmers.
May we, boss. Jacques Laval know that. I try my best for find her.
Now, I want you to send the boys out to beat the bush and drive them out of their cover. We know they're this side of the outpost someplace.
We, boss.
They must be waiting to make a surprise attack on us, or to get some kind of signal from Jungle Jim. I want to capture them without him knowing it.
By God, you just leave everything to Jacques Laval.
Now, look here. I'll let you get your revenge. But don't forget, Jungle Jim is my prisoner, not yours.
I know, boss. You let me whip him. Merci bien. I wait long time for that. And then he go faint. Yeah, he call himself one big, strong man.
You think he may be in love with Lynn Chalmers, you say?
Oui, boss. She's the only white girl around here.
Well, what does that make me?
Oh, you, boss. You woman. The daughter of the missionary. She only a girl.
Oh, I see. And this adventurer could only be interested in a girl, is that it?
No, boss. You no understand. You know your way round, like us fella. You hard, strong, like fella. You dress like us fella. This girl, she dress like girl. Act like girl. She one clinging vine, boss.
I see. Well, maybe you're right, Labar.
Sure, all right, boss. You find out when we catch that girl.
Manda here is going to the next island to ask them to search for the girl, too. Help him get his canoe launched. Then come back here to the house.
Okay, boss. Come on, Manda. We get the canoe into the water. Here she is. All right, Mamba. Take that end. I take this end. We push into the water.
Wait. Mamba say good wayogo.
Oh, first you make mumbo jumbo, eh?
Balo Mav, my ancestor. Come sit on Waga. Make Waga go fast. Kala bosisiula kala bomwalela. Papa silibida. Monagakadava. Kutelasi onikota. Bukyova. Kumwam dabam siai gana. Bukuyova. Fly, Waga. Fly. Now, Mamba ready.
Okay, take that end, like I told you. Now, push!
Goodbye, Mamba.
Bon voyage, Mamba. Au revoir. Hey, better you come back with that girl, you black rascal.
Don't do what about.
Come in.
Lava got that Mamba up all right, boss.
All right. And now I want
Boss! Oh, my God.
Why, what's the matter?
Where you get this dress?
This dress? Oh. Well, a woman doesn't have to wear riding breeches all the time, does she?
My God, I think you one beautiful fellow in those breeches, boss. Jean-Baptiste. You something magnifique in those dresses.
Like it, Labar?
Boss, when you wear that, I no can call you boss. I must call you Lily.
It makes that much difference, does it?
Oui.
All right, Labar. When I wear an outfit like this, you can call me Lily.
Merci bien, Lily.
And now I want you to bring Jungle Jim here to me.
Sacre bleu, Lil. Or why?
Never you mind about that. Just bring him here to me and leave us alone.
He one dangerous man for to be left alone with you.
You heard what I said.
Okay, it is your funeral.
Well, don't you worry about that. Just bring Jungle Jim here and leave us alone.
Meanwhile, Kolo keeps guard over Lynn Chalmers in their hiding place.
Kolo, there's been no signal from Tuan Jim yet.
No, Missy.
Something must have happened to him.
Missy no should worry. No good worry. Tuan Jim make signal when he want Kolu come quick.
How can you be so calm? Something's happened to him, I tell you. He must be sick, or perhaps dead.
Tuan Jim no fool. Him know how take care self. Him wait for chance make signal. You see.
I know, Kolu, but can't you understand? If something's happened to him, he won't be able to make the signal. Let's go and find out what's delaying him.
Better we stay here, Missy.
Is that all you can say? Better we stay here, Missy. You've said nothing else for hours.
Tuan Jim tell Kolu stay here. God, Missy. Kolu do like Tuan Jim tell.
Yes, I know. But Tuan Jim didn't figure on anything happening to him, Kolu. He gave those orders as though everything would come out as he planned.
Yes, Missy.
If everything had gone right, we should have seen his signal before this.
Maybe.
There's no maybe about it.
Maybe Tuan Jim have hard time find Batwoman. Maybe lose way. Take longer time. Foolish to follow. Missy and Kolu lead here. No could see signal. Kolu wait here. Missy wait here.
I'll go mad with waiting. Isn't there something I can do to keep from worrying so?
Kolu cut down brush to watch for enemy better. Missy want help?
Yes, I'll be glad to help. What do you want me to do?
Take knife. Cut down brush. So.
All right.
You work here. Kolu work over here.
Oh! Kolu, help! Kolu, help! Help!
At that moment, back at the plantation house, Jungle Jim faces Shanghai Lil.
You wanted to see me?
Yes. Sit down.
I prefer to stand.
Just as you like.
Well, what do you want of me?
Is that handsome back of yours healed yet?
Is that why you sent for me? To inquire after my back?
Partly.
My back's better, if it's of so much interest to you. What else do you want to know?
Oh, there's nothing I want to know. I brought you here to tell you something.
All right. That sounds more reasonable. Well, what have you to tell me?
Is there any hurry?
If there is, I want to spend it with my friend, Dr. Chalmers. Not with you, whoever you are.
You don't mind speaking right out, do you?
No. I never was much for palaver. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean.
So it seems. Sit down.
I said I prefer to stand. Well, I'm waiting to hear what you have to tell me.
Very well. I'll tell you. You know by this time that I'm a dangerous woman. My word is law in this part of the country.
Well?
What I want, I take.
You didn't bring me here to tell me that. Let's get to the point.
All right. Jungle Jim, I want you to marry me.
Well, the Batwoman, with Jungle Jim and the Reverend Chalmers in her power as helpless prisoners, should be able to enforce her demand. What misfortune has overtaken Lynn and Kolu? These exciting adventures of Jungle Jim are an exclusive feature of the Comic Weekly, the magazine of mystery, romance, thrills, and humor. The Comic Weekly is distributed everywhere with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. In it you will find many of the most famous characters of the picture world, including the Katzenjammer Kids, Toots and Casper, the Little King, Barney Google, and Flash Gordon. Also some new color poster stamps to add to your present collection. Don't forget our date at the same time next week for a continuation of the thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim. presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Last week, Jungle Jim relieved the saddened mind and heart of the Reverend Chalmers by assuring him that Lynn was alive and safe with Kolo, while at that very moment she was calling for help in the jungle hideout. In the meantime, intrigued by the suggestion of Jacques Labat that Jungle Jim was in love with Lynn Chalmers because she was so feminine, Shanghai Lil surprised the big French-Canadian by suddenly appearing in a dress instead of her usual riding breeches and boots. Before Labat had recovered from his astonishment, she ordered him to bring Jungle Jim to her and to leave them alone together. When Jim appeared before her, Shanghai Lil declared she wanted him to marry her. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And now we continue the story. Sitting languidly in her fan-backed wicker chair after making her audacious proposal of marriage, Shanghai Lil coolly gazes up at the open-mouthed Jungle Jim.
Well, Jim, what's your answer?
Why, I hardly know what to say.
You know what I expect you to say.
What do you mean?
I expect you to say yes, of course.
Why do you want to marry me?
One reason is because I'm fool enough to have fallen in love with you.
You don't expect me to believe that, do you?
Why not? Aren't you a handsome man? Haven't you broad shoulders, a slender waist, and strong, powerful arms?
So is your friend Labat.
Labat, that animal.
Nevertheless, he fits the same description you have applied to me.
This hardly seems the time to joke. I never was more serious in my life, Jim. I've never met a man quite like you before. I used to dream that one day I'd meet my ideal. Then my illusions were broken one by one. And at last I abandoned all hope of meeting anyone who could measure up to my expectations of the man I would call husband.
And now I'm elected, eh?
Yes, Jim.
If I may remark in passing, you certainly have a peculiar way of showing your love for me.
I have? Why?
Didn't you turn me over to that ape man of yours to be tied to a post and whipped?
Well, yes. Yes, I did. I'm sorry about that. You see, I'd promised Labat that he could have his revenge for the beating you gave him in a Flint's Cafe the day we met. So I had to keep my word. But that account is squared now. I want the two of you to become friends.
I suppose Labat wants to bury the hatchet before he gets what I'm going to give him at the first opportunity.
Listen, Jim, Labat is my overseer. You licked him once, now he's licked you. That evens up the score.
Does it?
Of course. Oh, come now, Jim. Don't pretend you're going to hold that against Labat or me.
That remains to be seen. You said a few minutes ago that one reason you wanted to marry me was because you had fallen in love with me.
Yes.
That leads me to suspect that there must be some other reason behind your demand. Usually, in entering the state of matrimony, love is supposed to be the complete and only reason.
That is my only real reason.
Then why did you say it was one reason?
Why, you picked me up on something that had no meaning, Jim. It was just a phrase. I spoke in generalities.
Are you sure that's all you meant?
Certainly. Why all this third degree?
Well, maybe it's because I can't understand why you should suddenly find yourself in love with me. This is only the third or fourth time you've seen me.
Evidently you don't believe there's such a thing as love at first sight.
I certainly don't. I've heard lots of folks pull that old bromide, but it doesn't fool me. There just ain't no such animal.
That's what Lily DeVril thought, too, Jim. Until you came here.
Apparently, that's your story, and you're going to try to stick me with it.
How can you talk like that when a woman bears her heart to you as I have?
All right, we'll skip that part of it. But you've got a mind as well as a heart. What's in that?
I don't know what you mean.
You never go in for anything unless it means some return for you. And romance wouldn't be any different as far as a woman like you is concerned. What could you get out of marrying me? That's what I want to know.
Oh, you think I have an ulterior motive?
I sure do.
Well, if I was looking for one, I could easily find it. You see, Jim, most of the natives on this island have heard of you and are very fond of you.
Go on.
As the Batwoman, I already have a good part of them under my thumb. Together, we could rule this island, Jim.
Oh, so that's it.
You may not know it, but we could develop its resources very profitably. What do you say now, Jim?
Just this. Listen to me, Shanghai Lil. You set yourself up as a goddess in the eyes of these poor, trusting people so that it would be easier for you to cheat them.
Oh, Jim,
You're a crook and a murderess.
Stop.
I have no use for you.
That's enough. Baloo, Goku, come here and take Jungle Jim back to his cell. Jim, we'll be married this evening. Dr. Chalmers will perform the ceremony.
I don't think he will.
I say he will if I have to torture the wedding service out of him.
At that very moment, back at the hideout, Kolo is giving chase to the black-skinned native who has grabbed Lynn Chalmers and started off through the bush. Stopping only to pick up his rifle, Kolo goes crashing through the foliage and brush.
Missy! Missy!
With the powerful hand of her captor over her mouth, Lynn is unable to call out as she is dragged further and further into the bush. Hampered by his struggling prisoner, the native is unable to make speed. And in a moment, Kolo comes within sight of them. But he is afraid to fire his rifle because his bullet may strike Lynn. Suddenly, the native sees Kolo. Pulling the girl in front of him to form a shield, he fires at his pursuer. Kolo disappears amid the foliage.
Kolo, are you hurt? Kolo, save me! Save me!
As Lynn renews her struggles to get free from her captor, Kolo works his way through the foliage to get a better angle of attack. Finally, he gets within range. Pointing his rifle into the air, he fires a shot to attract the attention of the native. Then he calls.
Run, Missy! Run back to hideout!
As Lynn breaks away from her captor, both the savage and Kolo start shooting at each other. Suddenly, the savage pitches forward on his face. After making sure the man is dead, Kolo calls,
Missy! Missy! Him dead now! Missy!
Here I am, Kolo.
Wait for Kolo, Missy. Me shoot boy try take you away. Kolo, kill him.
Good. I was so afraid he killed you, Kolo.
No need. Be afraid, Missy. Kolo know how to hide in bush.
Oh, that was awful. He almost had me, Kolo. I wonder where he was taking me.
Him, one of Batwoman boys, Missy. Him take you to her.
Are you sure?
Me sure, Missy. See?
Oh, what's that thing?
Dead bat. Him wear round neck. All boys of Batwoman wear bat tied round neck.
Oh, horrible. Put it away, Kolo. I don't want to see it anymore.
Yes, see, Missy.
Now, do you know what we're going to do?
Go back hideout, Missy.
No, we're not. We're going to find Tuan Jim.
Tuan Jim say wait. We wait.
Are you going to start that all over again? I listened to you before when I said we ought to follow Jim. So we stayed at the hideout and waited for his signal, and look what happened.
Kolo know this happen sometime.
Well, it's not going to happen again.
No, Missy. Kolo stay near you all time now. No leave hideout.
We won't leave the hideout because we're not going back to it. This time you'll do as I say. It's foolish waiting for a signal. If Jim isn't in need of our help, he'd have said it long ago.
Missy no understand. Tuan Jim say him no make signal only when him need help. No signal, all good. Get signal, come quick, help.
No matter what he said, Kolo, things aren't working out as he expected. We've given him plenty of time. Now we'll go on until we find him.
Missy, how you get here?
You mean in this place, here in the brush where we are now?
Yes, Missy.
Why, you know as well as I do. I was dragged here.
Missy go back hideout same way.
Kolo, let go of me.
Missy, come with Kolo.
Meanwhile, Jungle Jim has been taken back to the dungeon in which the Batwoman is keeping him and the Reverend Chalmers.
So Shanghai Lil wants you to marry her, does she, Jim?
She's gone past that, Reverend. She's definitely made up her mind that you'll perform the ceremony.
What?
Yes, tonight.
No, I shan't do it. You know I won't, Jim.
Perhaps they'll make you change your mind.
Oh, so she intends to use a little persuasion, does she?
If you refuse, yes.
Of course I shall refuse.
Now, hold on, Reverend. I know you're my friend. And as such, of course, you feel bound to defy our captors. But if you do, it's going to mean more torture.
They tried to get an apology out of me, didn't they? Well, I refused, and they haven't got it yet.
But you've got a blistered body.
Oh.
These devils are up to anything. I couldn't let you submit to any more suffering on my account.
Listen to who's talking. You offered your life to free me.
That was different, Reverend. I'm just a knockabout adventurer. I haven't any home, any family, and darn few friends.
Oh, nonsense.
What happens to me doesn't matter. But you've got a life of service to humanity. And you've got a daughter who needs a father.
Jim, you may not have any family, nor any permanent home, but you've a great many friends.
Everybody here in Malaysia knows and loves and respects Jungle Jim. They all say you're the squarest, fairest white man in the jungle country. I think it's worth anything I might have to go through to keep you free.
Thanks, Reverend. But I couldn't let you get tortured for trying to help me out. So you aren't going to refuse to perform the ceremony.
Jim, you don't mean you intend marrying, huh?
Not of my own free will, I don't.
Oh, thank heaven. For the moment I was afraid that woman had got you under her spell. Lily DeVril can be a siren when she wants to be.
Judging from my last interview with her, and the way she was dressed in frills and flowing skirts, I guess she wants to be right now.
She's a thoroughly bad woman, Jim. She's no scruples and no conscience. She was deported after she served 10 years for killing a man.
She's become a woman without a country.
Well, she's planning on making Malaysia her country and herself queen.
And now she wants you for her consort, eh?
Yes. But I won't become Mr. DeVril while I have my senses.
Good for you, Jim, and I'll stick with you on that.
Reverend, the time has come to give Kolu the signal.
Yes, I think you're right.
We must find a chance to do it before tonight.
Up at the plantation house, Shanghai Lil is making a few plans of her own.
Mamba hasn't come back yet, Labar?
No, Lily. That black rascal no come back yet.
I'll strip the hide off him when he does.
By God, that's too hard work for a beautiful woman like you. Better you let Jacques Labat do that.
All right, you can do it then, but see that it's a good job.
You leave everything to Gentle Jacques. Eh, Lily?
Labar, I want you to get some hibiscus flowers and orchids and decorate this room this afternoon.
You going for gift party?
Well, yes, in a way. I want this place to look like a tropical garden. Everything must be fixed up as beautiful as possible.
By God, you so beautiful, Lily. It will be hard to make room seem beautiful beside you.
You're breaking my heart, Labar. Such compliments. I wish somebody else would pay them to me.
What you mean? Everybody think you're most beautiful woman in the whole world.
Well, I know at least one person who doesn't. But never mind that. You see to it that this room is fixed up by tonight.
Mary.
And see that Jungle Jim has some new clothes. And a razor. He might like to get cleaned up before the ceremony.
What, that? Ceremony?
Well, yes.
What you mean, Lil?
Well, you see, Labat, I'm going to marry Jungle Jim tonight.
Lily.
And you're going to be the best man. Besides, I may need you to see that the Reverend Chalmers performs the ceremony.
Jacques Labat, the best man. By God, that good joke.
Well, I'm going to get ready for my wedding. And by the way, Laban, maybe you'd like to use that razor before you give it to Jungle Jim. You certainly could stand it.
So, she wants for to marry with Jungle Jim, eh? I have helped her all this time, and why? Because I love her. Sacre bleu. Now Lily thinks she throw me aside like one old shoe, eh? By God, I saw her.
Can Shanghai Lil force Jungle Jim to marry her before the proposed signal to Kolu brings help and possibly rescue for Jim and the Reverend Chalmers? You have just heard a dramatization of the exciting adventures of Jungle Jim, who appears in full-color action pictures each Sunday in the Comic Weekly, which is distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. In addition to Jungle Jim, you will also find many other famous characters of the world of pictures. The Katzenjammer Kid, Barney Google, Toots and Casper, Flash Gordon, and the Little King. A new group of colored poster stamps to add to your present collection will be found in the next issue of the Comic Weekly. Don't forget our date at the same time next week for a continuation of the exciting adventures of Jungle Jim.